My name is D. Lanier Shook, and I am the information collector. Today, I am coming to you from Nebo, North Carolina, at Lake James. This is the Paddy's Creek Landing Facility, and I am at the Linville Gorge Overlook. In the background, you can see an amazing view of Short Off Mountain. This is actually the site of where some of the last scenes in The Hunt for Red October were filmed, here at Lake James. This would be where Red October, the conning tower, is seen in a lake. I want to pause for a moment and remember the victims of September 11th. This week I heard Joey Hudson from Greenville's 94.5 The Answer relate how a few days before September 11th he rode up the elevator at World Trade Center. He remembered the elevator operator telling him how she had worked there since it opened, and he often wondered if she made it out. The around 3,000 victims of September 11th were just like her. Each of them had a story. Each of them had a face, and each of them had a family that they did not come home to. Leading off today's news, the Colorado State Fair was a success. A few weeks ago, I mentioned the Colorado State Fair and some of the changes they were making, and I just wanted to report 98 young people earned nearly $300,000 by auctioning around 100 animals that they had personally raised. Jeffrey Esper is the world champion Sloppy Joe eater. He ate 37.5 Sloppy Joes in 8 minutes, beating his record of 28.5 in 8 minutes for last year. Anybody have antacid? I need an antacid. The Colorado Department of Health and Environment reported the second case of human plague this year. On September 3rd, they had a case of plague in a human in rural Colorado. They are warning that rodent cases have been seen in Broomfield, Jefferson, and Adams counties. This is a very important story because it highlights the dangers of spillover cases of disease that naturally occur in the environment and come in contact with humans. We will now continue our tour of Lake James, and I want to give you a moment to enjoy this view even more. Isn't that an amazingly beautiful bridge? This is why Lake James is such an amazing place. It's in Nebo, it's up in the mountains, it's not too far from Asheville, Greenville. Next in the news, Hawaii's Department of Agriculture has confirmed that the coffee berry borer was confirmed in a Kalahero backyard. This is on the island of Kalau. This is a devastating insect to coffee crops. It's the Happotheniumus hempi. And this is a threat to, hey, you, yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Alright. A nickel, 2 pennies, and a dime and some pocket lint. Okay, thanks. Sorry, had a sudden crave for urge of coffee while, I mean, it's 2020. Seriously? We're running out of pocket change and now coffee? Anyway, Hawaii has confirmed the coffee berry borer. And once again, part of beautiful Lake James. This is the Holly Discovery Trail, and it's only one of several. In front of me is a small parking lot. They even have a portable toilet there. It's beautiful. Lake James is an amazing place to visit. All right, the rest of this week's news. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is preparing long-term care facilities to welcome visitors. 15 million masks, 5 million gloves, 3 million gowns, 500,000 face shields have been sent to long-term care facilities to prepare to begin welcoming visitors back to them. Now, this is in addition to the PPE provided to healthcare providers, first responders, and long-term care facilities already, which comprises 69 million masks, 22 million gloves, 7 million gowns, 2 million face shields, and 1.2 million shoe covers. The United States Department of Transportation has provided $1.2 billion in airport infrastructure grants. This is interesting because some of these are near you. They're all over the country. There's nearly 500 of them. I'm just going to hit a few high points of some especially interesting items. Klawock, Alaska received $226,000 for Airport Wildlife Hazard Assessment and Management Plan. Auburn University got $666,000 for their airport to rehabilitate the runway. Thomasville, Alabama will get $1.5 million for a new airport. LAX, San Diego, San Francisco, and Key West International each have received money for noise mitigation. LAX got $17.5 million. San Diego got $18 million. Ponape, Micronesia got $1,666,666 to conduct an aeronautical survey. Boise, Idaho got $400,000 for snow removal equipment. Purdue University's airport got $700,000 to buy a rescue and firefighting vehicle. Terre Haute, Indiana got $50,000 for the wildlife management plan. Those are some very wily geese up there in Terre Haute. Sparta, Kentucky will get a new airport at the price tag of $2.3 million. Escanaba, Michigan has $1.9 million for an emergency generator and lights. Honolulu's International Airport will be widening its runway thanks to $44 million. In North and South Carolina, Greensboro is going to get $2.2 million for noise mitigation. Asheville will get $4.3 million for its runway. Greenville's Donaldson Field gets $1 million for runway repairs, which is interesting considering that they actually manufacture jet fighters there. Seneca is getting land for development, $200,000 to Seneca, South Carolina. Charlotte is getting $4.3 million to build zero-emission infrastructure, which is Detroit is getting $2 million for the same thing. In my opinion, that's a charging station for electric vehicles. I could be wrong. Memphis will be getting $65 million for a de-icing pad and improvements to the terminal building. Virginia Tech will be extending their airport's runway and using $1.2 million for that. Warwick, Rhode Island will be rehabilitating their terminal building for $6 million. Now, a lot of this money is going to states for state grants to non-primary airports. Georgia gets $10 million. Illinois gets $9 million, and this is for the state to give to little airports. $6 million to New Hampshire, $18 million to North Carolina. Tennessee only gets $166,000 to give out to its little airports. Texas gets $16 million, and everything's bigger in Texas. And that is this week's private intelligence briefing from Lake James, North Carolina. As we go off, I want to pause and remember September 11th. And not only September 11th, 2001, but also September 11th, 2012. We will never forget, because we must never forget.